this world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme.
Yo, what is going on, Fresh Squad? Coming back at it again with another video, and this time I am going to show you how to get all of your badges easy. It's going to be quick and easy. As you can see, I have been earning all of my badges, and I just made this build not too long ago. I do have 9 out of my 20 playmaking. I believe I have 6 out of 10 shooting, 4 of 11 slashing, and 6 or 9 of my defense. Is it? I don't really remember. Oh, it's 6. Yep, I have 6. Oh, speaking about defense badges, I am going to be making a video showing you the best defensive badges that you can have on your point guard or on your guard build. And these badges are going to blow you away because not a lot of people run these badges. Some of you guys have been running some pointless ass defensive badges, and once I drop this video, it's gonna shock you. It's actually gonna shock you. And once I discovered these badges, I've never gone away from them. I always use them, and it's honestly the best defensive badges that you can have on a guard build. I'm going to be showing you guys some my career gameplay, which is the best place to get all of your badges, especially fast. Also, if you have My Player Nation games, I don't even know if they still do those anymore. I haven't done a My Player Nation game in a long time, but it is very important that you go to the My Career, you put your My Career to pro difficulty, you do 5-minute quarters. Anything more than 5-minute quarters is just going to be way too damn long, and you're going to get bored out of your mind. So for your shooting badges, you're going to do the same one as my past videos. You're going to run up to the right side of the court on the corner. Make sure that the ball is on your right hand. Then you're going to click L1, and then you're going to tap R1, and then you're going to call a guard to set you a screen. So when you hit L1 and then R1, it's going to pop up icons. What you're going to want to do, if you're the point guard, if you're X, then you're going to hold circle, so that way another guard can come set you a screen. It can't be, make sure that the icon, it has to be a guard. If you set a big man to set you a screen, then your defender won't back off of you. So make sure that it's a guard. So that's why if you're a point guard, you're most likely going to be holding circle to call the shooting guard to come set you a screen. And that is what is going to make your defender just completely back off of you and give you an open shot. So here I'm holding L1, R1, I'm holding circle. You see how he comes and he sets me a screen, and then you see how my defender just leaves me wide open, and I just go for the open shot 3. And you're just gonna keep doing this over and over and over again, and until you max out your shooting badges. It's not gonna be hard. Some tips are just when you're running down the court, when you get near the corner, flick up on the right stick, so that way you can do an immediate stop on the corner. Because if you try to creep up into the corner, you're probably going to get pushed out of bounds, which is the most annoying thing in the world. So when you're running down the court, it is important that you flick the right analog stick up, and it'll position you perfectly into the corner. And another thing is you have to keep the ball on the right hand side of your hand. So if you're running on the right side of the corner, the ball is gonna be on your right hand. If you're on the left side of the corner, the ball is going to be in your left hand. So the ball has to be on the baseline. So don't forget about that. And like I said, you're gonna click L1, and then you're gonna hit R1, and then you're gonna call your guard, which is gonna be circle if you're a point guard, to come set you a screen. And it works the same way when you're a big man. This process works for any position. I have personally used this to get all of my badges for my center, for all of my builds. It all works. Even if you're a center, this still works. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the finishing badges. The finishing badges, the easiest way to get all of your finishing badges is on defense. So make sure that you're getting your defense, you're playing good defense, you're not just letting them score, because the easiest way to get your finishing badges is on the fast break. On the fast break is where you're going to be able to just run down court and just dunk, you know, on whoever is down there, or whatever the case is. 99% of the time you're going to be wide open, but you're just going to right there just attack the rim and then just dunk the ball every time. There's nothing more else to it. You can just mess around in the offense and try to get, you know, your dunks, but it's honestly easier on the fast break. On the fast break is where you're gonna get majority of your badges. It is the easiest time to get all of your badges, actually, because for your playmaking badges also, the easiest way to get your playmaking badges is on the fast break as well. Whenever you're running on the fast break, especially like if you're on a team like, you know, the Lakers, I always choose the Lakers. I just picked Cleveland just because I didn't think I was going to play my career, because I normally just go to the park right away. I don't have issues, you know, getting my badges in the park. But normally I would suggest that you go to the Lakers, so that way, or somebody that has a lot of dunkers on your team, so that way on the fast break, if you need to work on your playmaking badges, all you have to do on the fast break is just throw the lob to LeBron, throw the lob to Anthony Davis, you know, anybody who's a dunker. You're majority gonna get all of your badges on the fast break, and that is honestly the easiest way to get every single badge for slashing and playmaking. The easiest way to get it is just by on the fast break, so that way you don't force anything, because majority of the people, what they do is they're on offense and then they try to call all these screens, and then they they try to force lobs, and it just honestly doesn't end up working out in the end. Because remember, you have to have good stats in order for you to get good my points at the end of the game. Because if you have, let's say you have 15 alley-oops that you threw, but then you have like 20 something turnovers, you're not going to get that much my points towards your you know, your playmaking, because you're going to be having so many turnovers. You're still going to get some, but it's not going to be as effective as you know, if you were to go 15 for 13 on alley-oops, where you're going to get a lot more. And then the only way to do that is through the fast breaks, because on the fast breaks, you know, it's just a lot simpler, because you're running down court really fast. Normally your teammate is wide open for alley-oop, or you're wide open for a dunk, whatever the case may be. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is the defense. The fastest way, in my opinion, to get your defensive badges as a guard would be just trying to get steals. So whenever your opponent is running the ball up court, you kind of have to just stalk him and get in front of him and just like sprint towards him and spam square. Honestly, that's been the most effective way for me. I usually try catching them before they even cross the half court line. I kind of just, you know, just dart at them full speed, and then I position myself a certain way to where I can just hit square, and then usually I always get a steal. I usually always get a steal, at least like 4 or 5 steals a game, but that's only like, you know, if I wanted to get more, I know I could, but mainly I usually do like 4 or 5 steals a game. Since my guard, I always upgrade my rebounding on my guard, so I'm always trying to get rebounds, and that's another way to get all of your defensive badges quick, is by trying to position yourself to get a board like right there. See how when you play my career, you already know when the AI is going to shoot. So whenever you know the AI is about to shoot, just run down and just position yourself to get a board. Just start boxing people out. You will also get, like, you know, if you start boxing people, you're gonna get my points for that. So I really suggest that you box people out. Try to get as many boards as possible. But another way, if you can't really catch rebounds on your guard, another thing that you got to do is you got to try to bait your opponent to shoot, so that way you can actually contest their shot, because that's another way a great way that you're going to get your defensive badges. So when you're playing defense on your you know, on your opponent, try to slack off of him a bit, especially if he doesn't have the ball. If he doesn't have the ball and the guy that you're guarding is the point guard, they're gonna pass on the ball a lot. So you gotta try to read and try to get in those passing lanes, so that way you can get those steals. Especially if you're playing on pro difficulty, it's not that hard to get steals off the passing lane, because all you have to do is just back up off of him, and as soon as he starts running towards the ball, then you just kind of have to wait on your moment, and then you sprint on that passing lane and you just spam square, and he will just lunge and fly and try to get that, you know, that interception. So it's really not that hard. That's why I recommend that you put it on pro, because Hall of Fame, you're just going to be struggling more than you know, you're just going to be struggling a lot more. And I just really recommend that you just do it on pro, especially since mycareer is just absolutely the most boring thing in 2K. It is just absolutely insane how boring mycareer is. Like, you really have to be a mycareer player to find this entertaining. But what most people do when they play mycareer is they're just on the badge grind. So what I do personally, is anytime that I'm playing mycareer, I have my PS4 on one of my monitors, and on my second monitor I have Netflix, and I am literally watching Netflix while I'm trying to grind my badges. And after a while, you kind of just start zoning out of the game, especially if you've repeated the process over and over and over and over again. You're kind of gonna get into this groove to where you're kind of gonna be on autopilot, and I pay more attention to the Netflix than I do actually playing the game, because like I said, I've been doing this for such a very long time. I have so many builds that I've grinded out, and all of my builds have been through the same exact method. A lot of people ask me, how do I have so many builds? It is because of this right here, especially my shooting badges. My shooting badges is honestly, for me, the shooting badges for me is the most easiest badges that you can get, because with this method, you see how he just leaves me wide open? As long as you can just green your shot, you should be fine. Because they leave you wide open, and it works every single time. And look, there I go right there. See how I just ran up to him and I spam square? That's the easiest way to get a steal. I have noticed though, be careful on calling your takeover too much, because if you call your takeover too much, they will start double teaming you on takeover. Usually I don't call my takeover at all, because usually whenever I call it, I always get double teamed. But since this is my first lockdown build, I wanted to check to see if they were going to start double teaming me. For lockdown, they didn't really double team me too much, but whenever, like, if I have like a shot creating or, you know, sharpshooting or slashing, they always double team me, like whenever I pop my freaking takeover. So I don't recommend that you pop your takeover. Just let it go, you know, just continue playing the game, and just consistently, like I said, just put on some Netflix, put it at 5-minute quarters. If you can sim out in the half, I suggest that you sim out in the half, so that way every 10 minutes you can collect the VC. So you will not only get badge points, you will also get VC a lot faster, which will help you, you know, level up your guy, which is what I recommend that you do. So that's pretty much going to be the end of the video. If you've watched it to the end, please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notification bells. Share it with a friend who is struggling and doesn't know how to properly grind his build. I'm pretty sure that this video will help him out a lot. I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.